New season. Mark did everything he could to bring in new faces and strengthen the squad ahead of a new campaign. One notable signing was the experienced goalkeeper Tevita Gounder, a well-known name from Naha, who was brought in on a free transfer to add quality and leadership at the back. At the same time, Mark continued searching for the right tactical balance for this team. To test his ideas, he scheduled no fewer than 8 friendlies, using them as a laboratory for experimentation rather than results. For most of these matches, he stayed loyal to his trusted 3 shadow striker system, but he also experimented with a more traditional single striker setup, which showed flashes of promise at times. Overall, the friendlies produced encouraging results. Only one ended in a draw and one in defeat, but Mark knew that the true test would come once the cup and league competitions began. Start of the season. The competitive season began in the worst possible way. Mark and his team suffered a painful defeat in the opening league match, losing 3-4 in a chaotic game where one player from each side managed to score a hat trick. That loss was followed immediately by a demanding cup fixture. The match ended 1-1 in normal time and was pushed into extra time, where Mark's side eventually fell short, losing 3-2. With their cup journey cut short, the focus shifted entirely to the league. The response was strong. Over the next 3 matches, Mark could finally celebrate as his team collected all 9 available points. That run, however, came to an end with a defeat against Wellington Olympic, one of the league's established powerhouses. In the 6th league match, Mark's troops delivered a commanding performance, dismantling their opponents 4-1. Another victory followed soon after, but momentum was once again lost. The next 2 matches both ended in identical 1-3 defeats, bringing the season to its midpoint. Middle of the season. At the halfway stage, the record stood at 5 wins and 4 losses. It was far from disastrous, yet far from convincing. A top 3 finish still felt like a long shot, though with a bit of luck, it remained just within reach. The 10th league match ended in a draw. That was followed by a solid 2-0 win, only for the team to suffer another setback in a dramatic 3-5 defeat. Results continued to fluctuate. The next 3 matches produced a familiar pattern: a win, a loss, and then another win. Consistency, once again, proved elusive. Fast forward. Mark's departure. After 2 average seasons at the club and 2 years at the helm, Mark found himself filled with doubt. He questioned whether he could truly achieve what he had set out to do with this team, or whether the task had simply been impossible from the start. He desperately wanted to prove his worth, but deep down he felt that the club's finances were holding everything back. Even though he was no expert in financial matters, he had sensed for the past 2 seasons that something was quietly building beneath the surface, and it did not feel like something positive. The club relegated. Before the new season could begin, Mark was called into a board meeting. Alongside the board members and the chairman sat the club's director of finance, whose presence alone signaled the seriousness of the situation. The director of finance spoke first. He explained that the club had done everything possible to find a stable way to support its ambitions and long-term goals. However, the lack of income from sponsors and ticket sales had taken its toll. Over the past 2 years, the club had accumulated a massive debt. Mark had suspected as much when he noticed the sparse crowds at matches, but now his gut feeling was confirmed. One of the chairmen then took the floor. With visible regret, he announced that there was only one option left. As chairman, he had no choice but to terminate all contracts connected to the club and publicly announce that Upper Hutt would be relegated to the lower tiers of the amateur leagues. And that was exactly what happened. One by one, the staff, the players, and finally Mark himself stepped forward to shake hands, exchange apologies, and say their goodbyes. The chairman thanked Mark personally, expressing his appreciation for everything he had tried to accomplish, and hoping that Mark did not feel those 2 years had been wasted. Mark replied honestly. Although he had not completed his mission in New Zealand, he was grateful for the opportunity to take on such a demanding challenge. Even if the task had ultimately proven too difficult, he believed success had not been far away. More importantly, he knew he was leaving with valuable experience that would serve him well in the future. With that, Mark said his final farewells to the coaches, the players, and the club of Upper Hutt. Once again, he set off in search of a new adventure in Oceania, wiser, tested, and ready for whatever awaited next.